When you first find out you have monoamniotic twins, it can be a very overwhelming feeling for both the mother and the father. From my experience, here are some things to do and think about when you first find out. It's definitely an emotional roller coaster. From my experience, there was tremendous joy at first, discovering that you had twins, and then shock and fear as the faces of the nurses and doctors begin to frantically look for separation between the twins and amniotic sacs. Then there's a moment of sadness when you're wondering if your twins are going to be okay. And then you have to replace that with faith and joy of the blessing that you have to have these two children coming into your life. Seek support, seek information, and don't let, if you're in a situation where a doctor or a nurse that's working with you in this situation has a negative outlook on things, you might need to look at for people that are more positive to work with. Please don't panic. Again, your OBGYN may panic or may have a negative outlook, but don't get too caught up in that. You're going to need a high-risk specialist and a good high-risk specialist. And well, from my experience, a top-notch high-risk specialist will have a much more positive outlook in most situations about what is possible and the likelihood that your twins will be just fine under the right care. So you're going to need faith, you're going to need support. Look at this journey as a blessing. It's been put in your life for some reason, but you need to start planning. You need to start thinking about, researching what all goes into being a monoamniotic twin and what you might be faced with. You need to get an appointment again with a good high-risk doctor, and from there you'll be able to make your plan about what your pregnancy is going to entail, and also what might be entail after the birth as well. It will be a little different pregnancy. You're going to be going to doctor's visits all the time. Your pregnancy might be cut short because the twins may be born quite a bit early. Expect a long hospital stay for the mother prior to the birth, and then a NICU stay for the babies after the birth is very likely. These are things you need to think about and plan for, but not things you need to fear. If you think about do the proper planning, get the proper information, these are not things to fear. These are opportunities to make sure your twins are going to be okay. Your doctor, your high-risk specialist is going to help you with your plan. One of the biggest decisions you have to make is decide what hospital you want to stay at. Of course, it's a balance between the best care over the convenience. You want to go to a hospital that has a lot of experience with MoMo twins. You want to go to a hospital where there's a caring staff that's not overworked, not overstressed. You want to go to a hospital that has a very good surgeon to help deliver the babies. You want to go to a hospital that has a very good neonatology staff that's ready to care for the babies as soon as they're born. Of course, you want to make sure these hospitals are in network for your insurance because the cost of these twins is going to be astronomical. But you have to find that balance. We had, for our twins, we had options to stay at the local hospital. We had an option to go to a hospital that was about an hour away. Our two hospitals were about an hour away. And then we could go to two big city hospitals that were about 2 hours away for, the highest rated care. We found that our choice was to kind of go the middle of the road. We went to a very highly rated hospital that was an hour away, and it was convenient enough that we could still access our home and visit and in support of our family and not completely uproot our lives, but we were confident in the care we were going to receive. Our local hospital didn't have a lot of experience with MoMo twins, so we were nervous that it might make some mistakes. So again, it's going to be a balance. It's about doing research. It's about working with your high-risk doctor. And your high-risk doctor should, if they're good, should do some research for you. Our high-risk doctor actually found out about some changes that another hospital was about an hour away from us that we were originally going to go to. And when he found out about those changes, he recommended that we not go to that hospital. So you should get recommendations from your doctor, but you should do your own research as well. If your doctors are negative, I've heard stories of doctors that say you should terminate. It's the doctors that say there's no chance that they're going to survive. That's outdated information. The fact of the matter is that MoMo twins have a very high rate of survival with modern medicine. and just advances that have happened in the last 5 to 10 years. So if you're uncomfortable with any of your care advice, seek second opinions, do your own research, find someone, a doctor and support staff that you're comfortable with. You're going to need support throughout this process from family, friends, your groups, your church, whatever you have going for you. You're going to need help on the home front. You're going to need support in the hospital. You're going to need a lot of support and help once the twins come home as well. It's a massive but joyful undertaking, taking care of newborn twins, especially if they end up being premature. To get through this process, you're going to need to continue to have a positive mental attitude. You're going to need to have tremendous faith. Support the mother. You need to seek support from others and try to enjoy, as a mother, it may be a challenge to enjoy the pregnancy, but you need to try to enjoy the pregnancy as much as possible. Let go. Whatever's supposed to happen will happen. But you also need to plan to put the best plans and systems in place to support the mothers and the babies, as the MoMo twins will probably be born early and will probably take an extensive hospital stay for the mother to have the twins born healthily. So I'll talk more about that in more videos, but this is kind of a brief overview of that first day, what to expect.